Hey, in Moe Norman's golf swing, the wrists and the hands work together, but the forearms oppose each other. Today we're going to talk about how the internal and external rotation of the arms worked in Moe Norman's swing. Hey, take a seat for this one because we're going to get into some explanation and some detail of biomechanics. But I want you to know that I talk a lot about these things. I try to keep it simple. If you don't like complicated, you might as well just click the thing on this video and go to another one, because I'm going to get into some detail about wrists, arms, hands, external and internal rotation. Now, one of the things that many of you have trouble with is coming over the top. This is a common thing in golf where you see people set up, they get some sort of setup position, and they see an outer rotation or external rotation of the shoulder and the arm in the downswing. One of the things I was fortunate to do is spend quite a bit of time with Moe Norman hitting golf balls. And most people, if they would have been in my shoes, would have watched the incredible results that Moe was getting when he hit his shots. Yes, it was incredible. I'll never forget the sound of the ball and all the amazing things Moe did while we struck golf balls together. However, I was watching him more. I was paying attention to him and what he did during the swing. And there's something very interesting that he does with his hands and his wrists when he approaches the club. And it's happening so fast that you have to be either with him a lot or you got to be paying close attention to see it. And here's one very important thing the thing my brain went through a lot when I watched Moe hit balls was take nothing he does for granted. In other words, there's a reason behind the biomechanics of everything he does. There's a biomechanical reason for it. And what you see him do in the swing is when he grips the golf club, the left hand will get into an external rotation, which I call full range. Now it's from the elbow down, so the lead hand gets into a full range, neutral, whatever you want to call that. But it's the right hand that's pretty interesting because it comes in from a underneath position. This would be external rotation. This is internal rotation. So it's internally rotated then under. So this would be the skipping the rock feeling, but he never comes in on the top of the club. He comes in from a underneath, called it sunny side up, underneath, extended position, then he grips the club. Now, I've seen that happen so many times, but it happens this fast. You'll see Moe step into a shot, and it happens this fast, and you just don't see it. So it's happening pretty quickly. But here's what's important to that to me, is let's look at how that translates during the swing, because those of you, and I mentioned coming over the top, what you want is, this is called internal rotation. So you watch this motion of the arm, and all good players, including Moe, take the club back and they tilt the body, and this thing gets internal. And this was a position that Moe would demonstrate very often to me, where he would show the club, the right arm into this internal rotated position, never an external rotated position. Obviously, external rotation would create a steep club coming down, right? So how does that work? Because you have this arm working this way externally. So here's this arm going from an internal rotation to an external rotation, internal to external. And you have this one going from internal and staying internal, right? That's what's happening. When that happens, and come over here in front, this will make a lot of sense from the front angle. Now, watch what happens during the swing, because this is what's squaring the face. I'm taking the club back. Remember, this thing is internally rotated. It's going to go into an external rotation to square, right? It's going to go this way, okay, like I'm hitting a wall. But this one's going to stay internal. It's not doing this. It's not going like this. So here's what happens. You have this arm going external as this arm stays in this position here. So that's a position Moe would show me a lot. So it's like they're opposing each other. This one fighting to go this way, this one staying this way. And that's why Moe would demonstrate this so much. It's like this is pulling, it's going to square, but this is going to stay underneath me, right? Now watch this, and this is where the fun part occurs, because I want to show you what happens to the face. I try to teach you things where the result of what I teach you is a mistake-proof motion, whereas you can't screw it up. In other words, the more you do this, your bad swings will be good because your body only goes to one position because you're so good at it, because this one's only going to max range. In other words, the lead side can only go that far. If the lead side can only go that far, the face can only be square, correct? Right? So we want to create a position where when I'm at full range of motion, full range, the face is perfectly square. So I can go to full range. Matter of fact, I can go as hard as I want, as fast as I want, and the face will only go to square. That's the same thing happening here. Because if I stay internal, I can turn as hard as I want, and I cannot get this face to roll over. Let me demonstrate this in slow motion. So here we are in a swing. I take it to the top of the backswing. I transition, stabilize. I'm coming down, and watch this. As I'm turning, here we go. External, stay internal. See that? Here it goes. There's happening just like that. See that? And look at the face. Squares. Squares. Now I want you to know something else. Watch something else. Watch this area right in here. Watch how the face stays square for a period of time. See that? Look how long it stays square. That's because this can stay internal for a while, and this can stay external for a little while too, as I turn. Was that too complicated? But let me show you what I feel. I don't ever feel like the face can get left of me. I don't ever feel like it can close. Number one, obviously a very neutral lead hand position. But I feel when I'm coming down, my best ball striking comes from being in a nice stable body position and feeling the external, internal of the forearms like that. External, internal. External, staying internal. That's when I hit my best shots. You guys are watching this going, well, your trail arm's close to your body. It's staying internal. See, if it comes away from my body, it's external. See that? That would come away from my body. No, it's staying internal. And the rotation of the body is keeping it internal. And that's where, I don't want to say tuck the arm against your body, but I do want to say keep it internally rotated. Now, come back over here for a second. I'll show you what happens to the path of the club. This is important stuff, guys, because this is really fun. And this is the stuff I'm kind of giving you deep insight into what's occurring in the biomechanics of this. Now watch the path of the club now. Remember, I'm going to the top, I transition, and because this is staying externally rotated for a period until it gets this direction, right? I'm sorry, internally rotated, I get that mixed up. This is staying internally rotated until it gets to here, and then it gets externally rotated, forearm, okay? So this is staying this way, but watch what happens now. When this stays internal, watch the club shallow. See the club shallow? If it gets external, it gets steep. This is really fun stuff. Now, let me hit a shot. You're probably tired of me talking about this stuff. Let's hit a shot and feel that coming down. Here we go. And it's happening so fast because it's getting in here, and then it's happening right in here. Right in here. Staying internal, this one squares up, just like this. So I'm going to demonstrate that super slow. Body position matters. I'm staying with it here. I'm not coming out of it. Here we go. It's coming down like this. This lead arm squaring. This is staying internal. That's great there. And it's funny because all that can happen right here is a squaring of the face as I stay with it. It feels like it's happening in my forearms. Right here, these are staying here. It never gets outside that. Anyway, I know that's some crazy detail, but that's the interesting part about how Moe's forearms work, is this swing's working to square, this one's working to stay internal. That's what shallows the face and keeps that thing squaring down the line. Hope you enjoyed that. If you're interested in Moe Norman content or single plane content, you need to be here on this channel. Click the subscribe button. Don't forget to do that. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that bell icon, because when you do that, you get notified of every video I produce, and I'll see you in the next video.